Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Michael Starr from the greatest heavy metal band in the late 70s, Steel Panther. You're on Sonic Perspectives.
1987, I never want to leave you. When you told me I was in my prime, why didn't I believe you? And the music scene will never be the same.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interview of Sonic Perspectives. I'm Rodrigo, and today I have the pleasure of speaking to one of my favorite singers, Mr. Michael Starr of Steel Panther. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm stoked to be here. I'm in my studio in Southern California. I look out my window, I can see the beach right there, and the waves are crashing. The sun is out. Life is good, man.
Awesome. Well, way better than Toronto, where I am, where it's miserable and cold. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's a little cold. I was going looking at our tour coming up of America,
yeah,
and we're going out for about 6 weeks. And you know, when you pack for tour, you really have to be aware of what the weather's going to be like, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I asked Siri, "What's the weather here? What's the weather here?" All 39 shows, right? And I
yeah,
figure out what clothes I need to bring. It turns out it's going to be really cold everywhere except for Florida and like Atlanta and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's going to be cold. So
yeah,
I'm understanding how you're feeling,
yeah.
and I'm prepared for it though. You know, I
Good
got my
stuff.
long johns. I'm going to bring my shorts. I got a puffy jacket and a hoodie, and you know, life is good, dude. It's good to
Of
be
course.
here today.
Yeah. By the way, I saw you guys not too long ago on the Resurrection tour here in Toronto, and now you're back with a new album, On the Prowl.
So excited, dude.
Yeah,
It's like that show was awesome, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was awesome, and I'm glad you think so too. Thank you.
yeah, of course.
It was really fun. I think we had that mascot from your team up on stage with us there. If
Yeah.
I remember correctly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was our last show of the tour, actually.
Oh,
We
yeah.
flew home after that in the morning. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a rough flight, man.
Yeah.
Because yeah, we stayed up all night partying with some chicks, and then we had to get up at 6 a.m. Well, not get up. We had to shake everything off and get a car, a cab, or whatever the fuck it was, and
Right.
go to the airport and fly home for 4 hours or 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. By the time we get home, I was like, oh, I think I slept for 4 days, man.
Oh, Jesus. So speaking of On the Prowl, I love the cover to start with that you can see here in the background. But is that scenery depicted the Sunset Strip in there?
Yes, it is Sunset Strip, and the artist that did that is from Australia, and she did a tour poster for us. We did a tour in Australia
Mm.
this past year, and we had a band called Airborne open up for us.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
I don't even want to say open up because they're such a legendary band. I would say we jammed with a band called Airborne.
Right.
But anyway, she did the tour poster for it, and we just loved the artwork. It was so killer. And so we thought, let's have her do our album cover. And she killed it, man. What a great job.
Yeah, I know. I love it. Yeah. By the way, you have a new band, new bass player, Spider, who recently joined. Did he
Yep.
collaborate on the album or?
Oh, he played on the record. Yeah, he played every single song and he did a great job. It's funny because a guy that works at Starbucks, that's how we know him, right? If he can
Right.
work that type of machine and make cappuccinos, lattes and stuff, it's a lot of work. It's a lot to remember too, because you know people want, I want 2 pumps of peppermint, 1 pump of hazelnut. You know, you got to remember all this shit,
Yeah.
and it's like you know, in songs, there's a lot of notes, so you have to remember all those notes. So
Right.
being a barista is a great way to train yourself to remember stuff. And man, he does such a great job. And not only that, he's willing to take sloppy fifths, so that's good.
Right. Good stuff. And I mean, writing an album on Zoom is kind of a crazy concept. It could be challenging, I think, but listening to the quality of the material, we can hardly tell. Did you find that difficult, that whole process, or not?
No, it was really nice, you know, because during the pandemic, we had a lot of time, more time than normal because we weren't touring. So
Yeah.
it enabled us to really, you know, just have more time to be rested and not party as hard
Yeah.
and just really focus on what we're doing. And I think that uh, you know, every artist will say the same thing. This is our best record ever.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say that because I love all their records. I think they're all great. But this one's special. It was written during a special time in the whole world's history. And I think it's a reflective record. It's one where you, like our song 1987,
Yeah.
it I think that's something that happens when you have a lot of time on your hands. You start reflecting
Yeah.
about the past, and that past for us, you know, the 80s were such a decadent time, and that's when heavy metal ruled the world, man.
Oh
And
yeah.
4 years shortly after 1987, heavy metal was gone,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and we've been carrying the torch ever since.
Yeah. And I gotta say, with that video of 1987, I laughed and cried in equal measures, to be honest, because
That's because you have a conscience and you have a heart and a
yeah,
soul, bro. And you
yeah,
look back and you remember, man, I remember growing out my hair,
yeah,
getting high with girls, drinking scorpions and priests,
yeah,
everyone in leather. There never was a doubt in any of our minds that pretty soon Dave and Eddie were getting back together. 1987. What a cool song, dude.
yeah. Indeed. Yeah. Well, the sad part of it is that Dave and Eddie took forever to get back together,
I
right?
know, dude. I waited so long.
Yeah. Took him longer than Ross and Rachel, to be honest with you. But anyway,
I know. It
we
was
did it.
crazy. But you know what? They did come back together.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Well, and the first song that was revealed was actually "It's Never Too Late to Get Some Pussy Tonight," and I can't help but
By the
wonder.
way, you're welcome for that song. That's an
Yeah,
educational song
it
that we
is.
want to give out to our audience and the people that, you know, are not our followers, that are just hearing about us through other people. You know, it is never too late to get some pussy tonight, because some people just give up and go to bed,
Yeah,
or they'll jack off and go to sleep. You know,
yeah,
you don't have to do that in this world, in this day of age, with the invention of the cell phone and apps. You
yeah.
can get laid anytime. It's never too late to get some pussy tonight. You're welcome.
Of course. And I need to ask about the David Lee Roth scream right at the beginning of the song. I know you can do those whistle screams, but did you do that one, or is it a sample of Dave's?
No, no, that's all me, man.
Okay.
That's, you know, what's so funny is I've been doing those for years because I
Mm.
love David Lee Roth and Van Halen.
Yeah.
And Satch was like, okay, can you come up with your own scream? And I'm like, I'll try, you know, I'll see what I can do. And, you know, I do, I come up with my own that aren't exactly like David Lee Roth. And it still sounds like David Lee Roth. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess I finally nailed it. I can do David Lee Roth.
Yeah, dude, I honestly, yeah, I thought it was a sample, but anyway.
No, no, it's all me.
Yeah. And speaking of the
But
video,
thank you for that. That's a
yeah.
compliment.
Well, speaking of videos, Friends with Benefits was awesome too with that Shark Tank parody. Can you tell me what the creative process of your videos is? I mean, they're all so well done, and there's always a script. There's always something in there. It's kind of a parody kind of thing going on.
Thank you. Yeah, no, there's a lot of background stuff that happens. You know, you watch a video and you enjoy it, and you don't really think about what goes into creating that art.
Mm.
I don't want to say art. That sounds so fucking stupid. It's not. It's just a fucking video, bro. And
But
there's
it's an
just a
art
lot of
form.
yeah, it's an art form. But there's a lot of shit that goes into it, right? So you
Yeah.
have to conceptually come up with an idea for it, and then you have to write it. And luckily, we have some great producers and writers that work with the team. And one of them, his name is JT. He actually is the brainchild behind that particular video. And you know, he wrote it and directed it and produced it and edited it. And here you go. He made it. And so it takes about, you know, by the time we have like a think tank, figure out what we're going to do. He presented the idea, and then we all riff on it and try to come up with, you know, different ideas for it. And that process takes up to like 2 to 3 weeks. And then, you know, we have to whittle it down and put it into script form. That takes another couple of weeks. And then you have to cast it. That takes
Right.
another couple of weeks. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. And then not only do you have to cast it, you have to book the place, the locations, you have to book the crew, you have to book the camera,
Right.
the props, everything that goes with it. It's a lot of work. And luckily we have such a great team that handles all the behind the scenes stuff that, you know, enables us just to show up on set and perform, because, you know, we've tried to do everything on our own, and it's a lot of work. And what suffers is the performance part of it. And at the end of the day, that's all the people are seeing are the performance parts. So having a great team is essential to any band's career. So we're grateful that we have a great team.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, and the next subject can be dark and deep, or it could be rosy, but and it might be a bit complex to explain. But can you tell me the concept behind the song "Magical Vagina"?
Oh, it's very simple. We've learned early on in our touring that chicks like the fuck after the show. It just,
All right.
it just happens. And everybody has a different penis shape. Some go to the left, some go to the right, some go up, some go down. Some are short, some are long, some are thick. And when you get into a vagina that fits your penis perfectly, that's a magical vagina.
Of course. Now I
And
got it.
now to seal the deal, if you can actually have a conversation that you like to have with this girl afterwards, man, that's a fucking win. I suggest just marrying her, but before you marry her, make sure you play her the song Community Property so she knows the parameters of your relationship.
Of course.
Yes,
Always.
sir.
Yeah.
100%.
And was the song "My Dick Is All That and More" based on your personal experience or not?
That's Dick's, not Dick's. Oh man, that's so fucking funny. That is a song is about Styx. That's Styx's favorite tune on the record, man. He really digs the drum beat on that. It's
Got
got that groove. When you're fucking a girl, right? And you're like, everything's just perfect, and it's just killer. Right. There's that rhythm that goes with it. And by the time you're done, everything ends in a great gush of love, right?
Right.
And that song is really about that.
Okay. And on the song Instagram, you address what is probably the biggest epidemic in the last 3 years, which is the excessive use of filters on social media. I mean, how do you cope with that?
Well, I use filters. I'm using a filter right now. It's taken 10 years off my face.
All right.
You just have to be careful with filters, man. Some girls, there's filters out there where you can change the shape of your face.
Right.
And
yeah,
that's where I think that's what the song's about, are those filters, because you'll see a girl on Instagram like, holy fuck, this chick is hot. You can even make your boobs look bigger on Instagram, and you can make unfortunately you can't show your dick on Instagram. Not unfortunately, thankfully you can't. But it's like, you meet a girl and you meet her on Instagram, you get ready to hook up, and then you meet her in person, like, who the fuck is this?
Right. Yeah.
Who is this girl? But here's my suggestion to people that run into that problem. You meet a girl on Instagram, you say, hey, let's meet up, but wear something red so I know exactly who you are.
Right.
Like a red bandana or a red hat or something. And then, like, let's say you're meeting her at a bar, just peek in the window, find a red hat or red scarf, and then if you want to walk in or not.
Of course. Right? Can always escape.
and that goes both ways for the girls too as well. Yeah. Because guys use filters too. Yeah. Some guys look different, skinnier, whatever you can add a 6-pack to your body if you wanted to on Instagram.
I know. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, all your songs, they're so retro sounding in a way, but you reference Tinder, OnlyFans, Instagram, cryptocurrency. I wonder what you talk about in your next record, maybe TikTok or this chat DPT thing that's going on.
It's a ebb and flow. It's a fluid situation. You never know what's going to come down next week or the fucking following months, or even next year. Shit changes radically all the time. So we just basically write about life experiences. So we've had the Instagram experience with the filters. So hence the song, right? We've had the experience, My Dick Is All That More. We've had the experience of the magical vagina. All the songs are personal experiences that we've actually experienced either early on in our life or currently. And, so that's what I think, that's what's behind the magic of Steel Panther, is the ability to just be, I don't even know if it's, if the word relevant applies to what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is we just write about what we want to write about. And it's usually influenced by what's going on in our lives. And our lives are influenced by what's going on in the world. So there you go.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, I have 2 questions from the fans. The first one is, what is the best way to rejuvenate after 17 girls in a row? And the other
best way is to eat a lot of asparagus, broccoli, just for a couple days, and then go straight to meat. And if you're a vegan, that would just be any protein that you like to eat.
Okay.
and that will really replenish your sperm count, which is
Right.
cool. And the amount of, most people don't know how to replenish their load properly. So, after 17 girls in a row, it's actually really, really hard to replenish it. But if you stick to these guidelines, you'll have a successful time, and your load will be back to normal within 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, excellent. I'm glad we're recording this because this is going to help so many people, man.
Yeah, clinical studies have shown that that's an accurate assumption.
Okay. And what's the Steel Panther song that made you laugh the hardest when you first heard or read the lyrics for?
Oh, Death All But Metal.
The very first one.
Yeah, because Satchel wrote that song, and he played it for me. And whenever he plays me a song, he'll hand me the lyric sheet so I can read it too. I was just fucking rolling, dude. I mean, and I thought to myself, are we gonna get canceled for this song? But we never have,
Yeah.
And Madonna doesn't give a fuck because she's too busy fucking filling her face up with fillers. And 50 Cent doesn't give a shit anymore because he's not a rapper.
Yeah. I find it ironic that in this day and age where everything gets canceled, you get more and more offensive at every record, and you're immune to it, I guess.
After a while, it just becomes like, I sing Asian Hooker on stage.
Yeah.
Because that's a fan favorite, so we usually play it at our shows.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just singing a song because
Mhm.
the lyrics to me are, I sing the lyrics, but now I'm doing the experience of singing it for people. So I'm not really thinking about the lyrics, not like I did when we first played the song
Right.
in Japan and opened with it.
Man.
I was thinking about every word that was coming out of my mouth.
Right.
And right at that point, I thought, you know what? I'm not going to really think about the words anymore. I'm just going to rock,
Just go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm desensitized or just immune to it anymore. Like you were saying, I think that it's just who we are, bro. I mean, right now I'm talking to you about pussy and magical vaginas and dicks. And, I mean, if I guess if there was I don't know, maybe the police listening, it might be different. I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. It's like, this is who we are. If you like us, cool. If you don't, fuck off,
Yeah. Please stick to it because, it's a breath of fresh air in the world where everything is forbidden to say. But anyway.
I know everything, dude. You can't even say a girl's past her prime when she's 35 anymore. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I'm way past my prime. That ended a fucking 20 years ago. But I don't give a shit. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
The prime is what you make of it.
Yeah. And the other day I was reading that Gene Simmons said he slept with about 3,000 women. How do you feel about Gene getting so close to your number?
No, dude, I have to be honest with you. There's no way we'd ever get to that number. No fucking way. Gene is the master. He is Gene Simmons is the king of lovers. And that's just the way it is. I mean, Paul Stanley's not even close. Tommy Lee's not even close.
Yeah.
At all. And that guy's fucked so many bitches, especially when he was with Pam. He fucked bitches all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, Gene Simmons, he has a way to just get laid. I don't know if he's doing that now. I think he hit his record and he's like, I'm done.
Yeah. I hit my Everest and that's it. Yeah. Well, before I let you go, I was looking at your touring schedule. There's a million dates starting in the West, and then you work your way through the festivals in Europe. Well, I hope it doesn't take you too long to get back to Toronto, man.
Yeah, we'll be back in Toronto as soon as they allow us back in.
Right.
Once you play a venue or a city, the promoters will want to wait a certain amount of time because they don't want to have us come back too soon.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So, we just try and play as many places as we can. The world's really big. So it's physically impossible for us to play every place.
Yeah.
So we try to alternate back and forth and then expand as we go along. Right. And we try to do the best we can. And also, when you're booking a tour, you're only going to be out on these certain dates and there's only certain availabilities for each venue. So it's a really tricky, fluid thing to do, but we do the best we can, and hopefully we'll be back in Toronto by next week.
Awesome. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Well, Michael, thank you so much for the interview. Have a great tour, and all the best with On the Prowl.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me. Be cool, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Rock on. Cheers.